The grand concourse stretched wide under artificial stars. Its curved walls glowed with soft blue light from a million tiny panels. This place sat at the heart of the Dyson sphere that housed the Galactic Concord. 300 different species met here to decide the rules of the galaxy. Today the chamber felt extra full. Delegates floated in bubbles of gas, sat on heated perches, or stood on magnetic pads. The air carried strange smells, sweet metal from one side, sharp acid from another. Voices mixed in a low hum as translators worked without pause. At the center platform stood the human group. 20 people in plain gray suits, no bright colors, no fancy decorations. They looked small next to the others. Ambassador Elena Voss stepped forward. She was tall for a human, with short dark hair and steady gray eyes. Her face showed no anger, no fear, just calm focus. Behind her stood engineers, scientists, and diplomats from Earth and its colonies, all of them quiet. The speaker drone floated up. Its voice came out flat and clear in every language at once. The petition from the United Worlds of Humanity is now open for discussion. They ask for full membership status, equal votes, no more probation. They also ask for official recognition of Earth as a sovereign core world. A ripple of sound moved through the chamber. Some laughed. Some clicked mandibles. A few crystal beings flashed bright colors that meant amusement. First to speak was High Luminary Kale of the Vexari. Their body looked like living glass. Light bent and sparkled inside them. When they talked, their words came out like chimes. "These humans are too young," Kale said. 200 cycles is nothing. They change leaders every few years. Their moods swing like plasma storms. How can such volatile creatures hold equal say in matters that last millennia? Murmurs of agreement rose from many seats. Next came War Prime Therok of the Korath. He stood 9 feet tall. His skin was thick gray hide built for methane worlds. 4 arms crossed over his chest. His voice rumbled deep and slow. "Earth is a death world," Therok said. "Gravity that crushes, air full of poison oxygen, storms that tear metal, beasts that eat anything that moves. No civilized species comes from such a place. These humans survived by luck and rage, not wisdom. They do not belong at the high table." More sounds of support. Some delegates tapped claws or tentacles in rhythm. Then Speaker Queen Zira of the Selthar rose on 6 slender legs. Her black carapace shone under the lights. Compound eyes glittered like wet oil. She spoke in quick bursts, the translator smoothing it into normal speed. "We trade, we move goods, we keep the lanes open. Humans fix gates. Humans load ships. Humans patch holes in hard vacuum. Useful, yes, but equal? No. They are hands, not minds. Replace them with drones, or with our own workers. Cheaper, cleaner, no complaints." Laughter spread again, sharp and cold. Elena Voss did not move. She waited until the noise died down. Then she spoke. Her voice was low, but carried clear through every translator. "We have listened," she said. "We have served on every committee you asked. We repaired your gates when your own tech failed. We sent doctors when plagues hit your core worlds. We built stations in places no one else would go. We shared our maps, our medicine, our engines. We asked only for a fair place among you." She paused, looked around the chamber slowly. "Now we ask again. One last time. Will you grant us equality?" Silence fell for a moment. Then the vote lights appeared above each delegate seat. Green for yes, red for no, blue for abstain. The lights came fast. Red after red after red. Only a handful of green dots showed, mostly from smaller species who traded heavily with Earth. The rest stayed deep crimson. The final count flashed in the center. 287 against, 9 for, 14 abstain. The speaker drone announced it without emotion. Petition denied. Humanity remains on probationary status. Next item. Laughter rolled through the chamber again, louder this time. Some delegates pointed, others mimicked human walking with their limbs in mockery. Elena Voss stood very still. Her face stayed calm. No frown, no tears, nothing. She turned to her people, gave one small nod. As one, the entire human delegation stood up. 20 gray figures in perfect line. No words, no shouts. They walked toward the exit ramp. Steps even, back straight. Behind them the laughter grew. Someone called out in translated mockery, "The children take their toys and leave." More chuckles. "Give them a cycle. They will come back begging." Always do. Elena reached the wide doors first. She stopped for 1 second, turned, looked back at the sea of alien faces. Her voice came out quiet, but every translator picked it up. "We understand." That was all. The doors slid open. The humans walked through. The doors closed behind them with a soft hiss. Inside the chamber, the laughter faded slowly. Delegates turned back to their screens. New topics appeared: trade taxes, border disputes, festival schedules. High Luminary Kale flashed amusement colors again. Strange creatures, they chimed. So dramatic. War Prime Therok grunted. "They will return. They need us more than we need them." Speaker Queen Zira clicked her mandibles. "Indeed. The gates will not repair themselves. Let them sulk. In time, they will crawl back." The session moved on. No one noticed the small detail. As the humans left, every data pad in the human section of the concourse went dark at once. Every link cut clean. Every camera feed from human ships blinked offline. The aliens did not see it. They were too busy laughing. Outside in the docking rings, 20 sleek human transports waited. Engines already warm, crews ready. No rush, no panic. Ambassador Voss stepped onto her ship last. She paused at the hatch, looked back one more time at the glowing Dyson sphere. Then she walked inside. The hatch sealed. Engines flared soft blue. One by one, the human ships slipped away from the rings. They moved smooth and quiet into the black. Behind them, the grand concourse continued its endless talk. No one inside realized yet. The galaxy had just lost something it did not know it needed, and the humans had started to walk away. The first changes came so slowly that almost no one noticed. For weeks after the humans left the grand concourse, the galaxy kept spinning as usual. Ships moved through jump gates. Cargo flowed between worlds. Lights stayed on in the great stations. The aliens told each other the same thing again and again. "They are sulking," High Luminary Kale said during a private call with other Vexari elders. Their crystal body flashed soft amusement colors. "Humans always do this. A little drama, then they come back." War Prime Therok laughed deep in his chest when his officers reported empty docking bays at the methane refineries. "Let them hide on their wet rock," he rumbled. "We have drones now, better than flesh hands." Speaker Queen Zira clicked her mandibles in satisfaction. Her hive accountants showed good numbers. "Human labor costs were high anyway," she told her council. "We replaced them with our young workers, cheaper, more loyal." No petitions. So life went on. Then small things started to break. The first problem appeared at Gate Cluster 7 Alpha, a busy hub near the coreward trade lanes. One gate, a big ring of dark metal and glowing blue conduits, began to drift. Just a tiny shift in alignment, 0.001%. Nothing big. A Vexari calibration team arrived. They were proud of their work. Their crystal tools measured everything perfectly. They adjusted the coils. They ran diagnostics. They declared it fixed. 2 days later, the same gate drifted again. A little more this time. Ships coming through felt a small jolt. Cargo containers shifted. One luxury yacht lost a stabilizer fin. The owner complained loudly. The Vexari came back. They measured again, adjusted again. Everything looked perfect on their screens. But the drift kept happening. No one remembered that humans had a special way with these gates. Human engineers did not just follow numbers. They listened. They felt the hum in the deck plates. They knew when a coil was about to sing wrong. They made small, quick fixes, twists of wire, taps with a tool, a new setting that should not work on paper, but did. The Vexari had no feel for that. Their tools were too exact. They could not guess. They could not improvise. Soon other gates showed the same problem. Not all at once. One here, one there. Like cracks spreading in ice. Trade slowed a little. Prices went up a little. Merchants grumbled, but paid. Then the medical calls started. A mining colony on Varnak 9 had a new fever. It spread fast among the tunnel workers. Skin turned gray. Breathing became hard. The local hospital sent a distress signal to the Concord medical fleet. The response came from a Korath automated hospital ship. It arrived in good time. The drones inside were fast and clean. They scanned. They gave shots. They filtered air. But the fever kept spreading. The virus changed. It learned. It hid from the standard tests. The Korath drones followed their programs exactly. They did not try new things. They did not stay up 3 days mixing compounds until something worked. A human rapid response frigate used to handle these cases. The crews were mostly from harsh colony worlds. They knew Death World biology. They carried wide labs. They tested ideas fast. They broke rules to save lives. No human ship answered the call this time. The colony lost 30% of its workers before the fever burned out on its own. Many died gasping. Word spread. Other worlds grew nervous. Still, the Concord leaders stayed calm. They will come back, they said in meetings. When the credits stop flowing, when the gates stop working right. Humans love money too much to stay away. Months passed. More gates failed alignment. Travel times grew longer. Ships waited in long lines at the few stable gates. Fuel costs rose. Food prices rose. Luxury goods from distant worlds became rare. A big luxury world called Elisara Prime felt it first. Their citizens were used to fresh fruit from 20 systems away. Now, shipments arrived late. Some arrived spoiled. Restaurants raised prices. Parties grew smaller. People complained on their networks. The Selthar stepped in to help. They sent more cargo ships. They loaded extra drones. They promised faster service. But their drones broke down in human-designed loading arms. The arms had strange safety locks only humans understood. The drones got stuck. Cargo sat in bays. Delays grew worse. Zira's accountants stopped smiling. Profits fell. One day a jump gate in the Orion arm failed completely. Not a drift. A full collapse. The ring twisted. Blue conduits exploded in white fire. 3 freighters were halfway through when it happened. They vanished. No signals. Gone. Panic whispers started. The Concord called an emergency session. Delegates filled the grand concourse again. Voices rose loud. "Where are the humans?" one small species delegate asked. "They left," another answered. "You laughed at them." "We need their engineers," a Vexari said. Their chime sounded sharp now, not amused. Tharok slammed a fist on his table. "We do not need them. We build our own gates." But no one believed it anymore. Scouts were sent to human space. Fast ships, stealth drives. They slipped close to Sol. What they found made their reports short and cold. Earth's orbital yards were empty. No ships under construction. No lights in the windows. The great rings that once held thousands of workers now floated dark and quiet. Mars colonies showed cold reactors. No heat signatures from factories. The outer habitats, big spinning stations, were gone, stripped, or taken apart for parts. Only one thing remained active near Pluto's orbit. A single small beacon station. It broadcast the same message on every channel, every language. We are no longer members. Do not approach. The scouts tried to send queries. No answer. They scanned deeper. They found faint trails, engine signatures leading away from Sol, toward the galactic rim, toward empty space no one had claimed. Hundreds of ships, big ones, small ones, colony arcs, factory vessels, all moving together, all silent on comms. The scouts turned back. They carried fear with them. Back at the concourse, the leaders read the reports in private rooms. Faces grew tight, crystals dimmed, mandibles clicked nervously. They are not coming back, Kale said quietly. Tharok stared at the star map. They are leaving us. Zira's voice came low, and they are taking everything they built with them. Outside the Dyson sphere, the first real gate failures began to chain. One collapse pulled at nearby gates. Stress waves moved through the network. More rings twisted, more explosions. Trade stopped in whole sectors. Lights dimmed on distant worlds. The galaxy started to feel cold. And still, no human voice answered the calls for help. The quiet withdrawal had begun. No shots fired, no fleets sent, just absence. And the cost was growing every day. 3 years had passed since the humans walked out of the Grand Concourse. The galaxy no longer laughed about it. The jump gate network was dying. Not fast, not with big explosions every day. Slow, steady, like a body bleeding from many small cuts. At first, the failures stayed in the outer arms. Ships waited longer at hubs. Routes closed for days while repair teams worked. Merchants rerouted cargo. They paid higher fees. They told customers, temporary delay. No one panicked yet. Then the problems moved inward, closer to the rich core worlds. Gate 12 Beta, the main link between the Vexari home cluster and the trade nexus at Orion's Reach, failed alignment by 0.05%. Ships came through twisted. Some lost power. One bulk hauler ripped open its cargo bay. Grain and frozen meat spilled into vacuum. The loss cost millions of credits. The Vexari sent their best crystal technicians. They floated inside the gate's control sphere for weeks. They replaced every coil they could measure. They recalibrated with light beams so precise they could split a hair. When they finished, the gate hummed clean on their screens. 3 days later, it drifted again. Worse this time. A passenger liner carrying 2,000 diplomats hit the misalignment hard. The ship spun. Gravity fields failed. People floated in panic while emergency bulkheads slammed shut. 20 died from impact injuries before rescue tugs arrived. The news feeds carried the images. Broken ship, bodies in white bags, mourning families on distant worlds. For the first time, voices in the concourse spoke the word humans without mockery. War Prime Tharok stood in the emergency council room. His forearms rested heavy on the table. His gray hide looked dull under the lights. "We can build new gates," he said. "Our factories are strong." An engineer from his own fleet answered quietly. "We tried, Prime. The designs are human. The math is human. Our drones follow the plans exactly. But the gates still fail. They need something else." Tharok stared. Something else? The humans called it feel. They said the gate sings when it is right. "We do not hear songs." Tharok turned away. He did not answer. On Elysera Prime, the shelves emptied. No fresh fruit from the green belts. No rare spices from the rim. Restaurants closed one by one. The rich citizens grew angry. They blamed the Selthar Trade Guild. Speaker Queen Zira faced her council in the hive chamber. Thousands of eyes watched her. "Our drones work perfectly," she said. "The problem is not us." A young worker dared speak. "The loading arms at human stations had smart locks. They only opened for human codes. Our drones cannot talk to them. Cargo sits, rotting." Zira's mandibles clicked sharp. "Then break the locks. The arms destroy the cargo if forced." Silence filled the chamber. Plagues came next. A new strain appeared on Korath mining worlds. It started as a cough, then fever, then black sores. It spread through air vents fast. Whole habitats locked down. The automated hospitals arrived. Drones sprayed. Drones injected. Drones scanned. But the virus changed. It hid in cells. It resisted old drugs. The drones ran the same tests again and again. They gave the same treatments. Nothing worked. A whole dome city lost power when too many workers died. Life support failed. Thousands froze or suffocated before evacuation ships could reach them. A delegate from a small oxygen-breathing species stood in the concourse and shouted, "Where are the human doctors? They fixed this before, in weeks, not years." No one answered him. Everyone knew. They sent back images that made leaders cold. The human home system looked different now. Not empty, changed. The big shipyards at Jupiter's moons glowed again. But not with old designs. New hulls slid out. Long, smooth, self-contained. No bright running lights, no signals. Stealth fields shimmered around them. Colony arcs gathered at the edge of the system. Huge cylinders with green domes inside. Gardens, farms, cities floating in space. They looked ready to travel forever. Probes caught faint readings deeper in. Human scientists had done something impossible. Stable micro-wormholes. Tiny tunnels through space. No need for gates. No need for the old network. The Concord leaders watched the data feeds in silence. They did not fall apart, Kale said. Their crystal body had lost some shine. They grew stronger, alone. Therok's voice came rough. They left us to rot. Zira stared at the star map. Red dots marked failed gates. Whole sectors blinked offline. Our economy dies, she said. No trade, no movement, no food from far worlds. Our people starve while they build new homes. The Emergency Council met every day now. Voices rose. Blame flew. Vexari blamed Korath rigidity. Korath blamed Selthar greed. Small species blamed everyone. But deep down, they all knew the truth. The galaxy had been built on human work. Humans fixed the unfixable. They improvised in disasters. They stayed up nights to save strangers. They did not ask for thanks. They just did it. When the aliens said, "You are not equal," the humans stopped. No war, no revenge, just absence. And the absence hurt more than any weapon. One morning, the main gate to the Core Ward hub collapsed completely. A chain reaction started. Stress waves ripped through connected rings. Explosions lit up the dark between stars. 20 gates died in one cycle. Fleets sat stranded. Food convoys vanished. Planets went hungry. Billions felt the cold for the first time. In the Grand Concourse, the lights dimmed to save power. Delegates sat in shadows. No laughter now. A single message came through on every channel. Short, clear, in every language. We are no longer members. Do not approach. No signature. No ambassador's name. Just the words. Kale's chimes sounded broken. They mean it. Therok stared at his hands. We thought they needed us. Zira whispered, we needed them. Outside, the stars watched in silence. The unraveling had begun, and there was no one left to stop it. The galaxy was breaking apart, piece by piece. Desperation had replaced pride in the grand concourse. Delegates no longer sat straight. They leaned forward, eyes wide, voices low and urgent. High luminary Kale's crystal body had dulled. No more proud flashes of light, just faint, tired glows. War Prime Tharok's thick hide looked cracked in places from stress. Speaker Queen Zira's mandibles trembled when she spoke. They had tried everything. They sent automated repair fleets to the worst gates. The drones worked day and night. They failed anyway. The gates kept drifting. Explosions kept happening. They offered huge credits to any species that could copy human fixes. No one could. The tricks were too strange, too human. They even tried to force open the old human stations. Teams cut through hulls. They found empty rooms, stripped wires, cold machines. Nothing useful left behind. In the end, only one path remained. A multi-species flotilla was formed. 10 heavy cruisers, 50 support ships, Vexari scouts, Korath warriors, Selthar diplomats. They carried the last hope of the Concord, a formal plea. The ships jumped as far as the failing network allowed, then they coasted on sublight drives toward the edge of human space, near the old border. They stopped at the invisible line, where human beacons used to warn ships away. Now the beacons were gone. Only silence. A single small station floated there, new, sleek, black hull with no markings, no lights, except one faint blue pulse. The flotilla leader, a mixed command team, sent the standard hail. "This is the Galactic Concord delegation. We request peaceful contact. We seek dialogue with the United Worlds of Humanity." For a long time, nothing. Then a voice answered. Calm, female, familiar. "State your business." It was Elena Voss. The aliens felt a strange mix of relief and fear. Voss allowed them to dock. One ship only. The rest waited far back. The delegation stepped onto the station through a narrow airlock. Inside it was clean and bright. White walls, soft gravity, simple chairs around a round table. No decorations, no weapons. Elena Voss waited alone. She looked older. Lines around her eyes, gray in her dark hair. But her back was straight, her gray eyes steady. She wore the same plain gray suit from years ago. No rank pins, no jewelry. The aliens sat, or stood, or hovered. They had practiced what to say. Kale spoke first, voice soft chimes. "Ambassador Voss, the galaxy suffers. Gates fail. Trade stops. Plagues spread. Billions face hunger and death. We were wrong. We see that now." Tharok rumbled next. "We offer full membership, equal votes, seats on every council. Your worlds will have priority in all decisions." Zira clicked quickly. "We offer reparations, credits, resources, technology sharing. Name your terms. We will meet them." Voss listened. She did not interrupt. When they finished, she waited a moment longer. Then she spoke. "You offer equality now, after everything stopped working, after you could not fix it yourselves." She stood up slowly, walked to a wide view screen on the wall. "Watch." The screen lit up. It showed the Sol system, but changed. Huge shipyards circled the gas giants. New hulls slid out every day. Long ships, fat colony arcs, sleek explorers, all moving with purpose. Further out, green worlds bloomed inside spinning habitats, farms, cities, children playing under artificial suns. Deeper scans showed something impossible. Tiny points of light, stable wormholes, human ships vanishing into them, emerging light years away. No gates needed. No old network. Voss turned back to them. "We cracked wormhole stability. Something your best minds chased for 10,000 years. We did it in 3. She pointed at the screen. "These are not warships. They are homes, seeds. We are leaving, not running, moving on. Kale's light flickered weak. But the galaxy needs you. Voss shook her head. The galaxy needed servants, not equals. You made that clear. Tharok's voice cracked. We can change. We will change. You had centuries to change, Voss said. You chose contempt instead. Zira stepped forward on trembling legs. Please, our people die. Help us, one last time. Voss looked at each of them. We gave you our best, our minds, our hands, our nights without sleep. We fixed your broken things. We healed your sick. We asked only to be seen as people, not tools. She paused. You said no. Another pause. So, we stopped. The view screen changed again. It showed a long line of human ships, hundreds, thousands, entering wormholes, vanishing into the deep black, towards stars no one had mapped. They are going where no one will laugh at them, Voss said, where no one will call them volatile, or death world trash, or replaceable hands. She looked straight at them. We are walking away, not out of hate, out of survival. Your galaxy runs on human work. Without us, it will choke. Slowly. That is the cost you picked. Silence filled the room. Kale's crystals went almost dark. Tharok stared at the floor. Zira's antennae drooped. Voss spoke one more time. You may return to your ships. Tell your councils what you saw. Tell them we are gone. She walked to the door. At the threshold she stopped. Do not follow us. The next time someone comes, there will be no station, no talk, only empty space. The door opened. The delegation left without words. They boarded their ship, undocked, flew back to the waiting flotilla. On the way, no one spoke. Behind them, the black station powered down. Lights faded. It became invisible again. The human ships kept moving, one by one, into the wormholes, into the unknown. The aliens watched until the last glow disappeared. Then they turned for home. But home was colder now. The gates kept failing. The plagues kept spreading. The shelves kept emptying. And somewhere far away, in quiet new worlds under strange stars, humans built without looking back. They had walked away, and the cost had only begun to be paid. Decades passed. Time moved slow in the old galaxy. The once bright stars of the Concord now flickered like dying embers. The jump gate network was mostly gone. Only a few lonely rings still worked in isolated pockets. They connect in small clusters of worlds, like islands in a dead sea. Travel between them took months on slow sublight drives. Most people never left their home system anymore. Trade had collapsed. The great cargo lanes stood empty. Freighters rusted in orbit around forgotten stations. Markets that once sold goods from 100 worlds now sold scraps and recycled parts. Bread cost 10 times what it used to. Medicine became a luxury for the rich. Plagues never really stopped. New strains appeared every few years. Old ones came back stronger. Without human rapid response teams, containment failed again and again. Cities locked down. Domes cracked open. Whole populations vanished under quarantine seals that no one dared break. The proud elder species turned inward. Then they turned on each other. The Vexari sealed their crystal worlds behind thick shields. They stopped answering calls from outside. Their light shows dimmed to save power. Elders whispered that the younger generations had lost the old songs. No one knew how to fix the last gates anymore. The Korath fought border wars over the few working methane refineries. Their warriors, once feared across systems, now died in small, dirty skirmishes for fuel cells and oxygen tanks. War Prime Tharok had died years ago. Some said from shame, some said from a simple infection no one could cure. The Selthar hives grew quiet. Queens laid fewer eggs. Workers starved in the lower tunnels. Speaker Queen Zira's line ended when her successor was killed in a food riot. Their black ships sat grounded, hulls cracked from neglect. Smaller species suffered worst. They had depended on the big three for protection and trade. Now they were alone. Many worlds went dark. Signals stopped. Scouts who went to check found empty cities, bones in the streets, silent machines. In the grand concourse, the Dyson sphere still stood, but it was a hollow shell now. Lights burned low to save energy. The vast chamber echoed with wind from failing vents. Only a few delegates remained, old ones too stubborn to leave, or too weak to travel. They sat in the dim glow and told stories of the old days. Stories of laughter. Stories of when humans walked out. They were dramatic, one said. They were useful, another answered. No one laughed anymore. Sometimes a probe arrived from the rim. Old Concorde tech, weak signal. It carried the same plea every time. We seek aid. We offer alliance. Please respond. The remaining delegates watched the message play on cracked screens. Then they sent the same reply they always did. No words, just one phrase. You dismissed us. We walked away. The cost is yours. The probe turned and left. It never came back with an answer. Far beyond the old maps, in the quiet reaches of the galactic rim, new lights bloomed. Human colony ships had found good stars, yellow suns with stable planets, no ancient ruins, no elder species to judge them, just empty space and time. They built slowly at first, careful, then faster. Gardens grew under clear domes, cities rose with wide streets and open skies. Schools taught children the old stories, not of rejection, but of quiet strength. Engineers taught the feel of machines. Doctors taught how to heal fast and without fear. No councils of aliens, no votes where laughter drowned reason. Just people working together because they chose to. Sometimes a child asked, "Why did we leave?" An elder answered, "Because they saw us as tools. We decided to be people instead." The child nodded and went back to play. Years turned to decades. The new worlds joined into a loose network. Not an empire, not a concord, just neighbors who shared knowledge and helped when asked. They built their own gates, better ones, wormholes they controlled, ships that needed no help from anyone. Occasionally a faint signal came from the old galaxy, a dying beacon, a last cry for help. The humans listened, they read the words, they saw the scans of broken worlds and empty skies. Then they sent one short message back. You dismissed us. We walked away. The cost is yours. After that they closed the link, powered down the receiver, turned to their own work again. On a green world called New Horizon, an old woman stood on a high balcony. She watched the sun set over wide fields. Children ran below, laughing. Ships lifted from the spaceport, quiet, clean, heading to new places. The woman's name was Elena Voss. Her hair was white now, her steps slow, but her eyes still held the same steady gray. She leaned on the railing and breathed deep. The air smelled of grass and rain. Behind her, a young engineer approached. Ambassador, we picked up another probe. Same message, same plea. Voss did not turn. Did you send the reply? Yes. Good. The engineer waited. Ma'am, do you ever wonder if we should have stayed? Help them one more time? Voss looked at the horizon for a long moment. I wondered once, she said, long ago. Then I remembered their faces when they laughed, when they called us replaceable, when they said no. She turned to the young man. We gave them everything. If we went back, we would be servants again. Not equals, never equals. The engineer nodded slowly. Voss smiled, a small, tired smile. They never understood. We never needed the galaxy. The galaxy needed us. She looked up at the stars coming out. And now we have our own. The engineer left quietly. Voss stayed on the balcony until full dark. The night was warm. Stars filled the sky. New stars, bright and close. Somewhere far away, the old galaxy continued its slow death. Worlds grew cold. Lights went out one by one. Here, lights grew brighter every day. Humanity had walked away, and in walking away, they had found home.